Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the October 2021 43 variant, question number 11. The topic is O levels functions. So let's start. First value, he's asking h of 3. So as he said h of 3, I will copy first of all function of h. So function of h, I will copy first of all. So h of x is equal to 4 to power x. So first of all, make a habit, copy function as it is. How many x's left hand side, right hand side, leave empty spaces? And what is number 3 in them? So replace 3 here and 3 here. So h of 3 and 4 to the power 3 means 4 into 4 into 4. So I get 64. So first part is over. So let's talk about next part. He said this one. If you look at carefully, this is same. So in short story, is saying that h of 3 replace in f. So first of all, I must copy this function. So f of x is 2x minus 1. So I'm writing it now here, part number 2, A2. So I'm copying f of x, which is 2x minus 1. Now I replace empty space left side and empty space right side. But this h of 3 will come here and 2064 will come here. I hope so you got the idea. So f h of 3 remains as it is. And this become 128 minus 1 become 127. The first part is done. B part. He said solve this equation. And question is d f of x equal to function of f will go in g. So first I will copy g of x. So let's start. G of x copy. I have copied, then what? Then how many empty spaces left side and right side? How many x's leave empty spaces? Now, what is the function I'm going to put f of x? So name, I will put left side and value right side, 2x minus 1. So this will come here and this will come in two places. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, I believe it's clear. But according to situation, g f of x is actually equals to what? 0. G of f equal to 0. So I replace this left hand side by 0. Here I have to expand it. Two techniques, writing 2 times 2x minus 1. Look, 2x minus 1 into 2x minus 1. Multiply, 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 and multiply. Is it time consuming? I use always squaring identity. First term square, negative 2 into first term into second term plus second term square. So squares come in a first and last place, in the middle, 2 into first term, second term. But due to this minus sign comes. So this will come in first two brackets, and this one will come next to. Make sure minus will not come beside of 1. And what about this? 2 multiply inside, 2 2s are 4x, and 2 1 2. If you're doing parallel with me, you can find out your mistakes. So some students do mistake what? They don't take square of 2. So 4 and x to power 2. And what about this? 2 into 2, 4, and 4 times 2, 1, become 4x. Some student by mistake say 2 into that and 2 into that. Wrong, not like that. 1 square is 1, and 4x and minus 2. This plus 4x minus 4x cancel out. So for your knowledge, you write 0 here, okay? Or you write 0 here, no problem at all. This is giving us minus 1. I repeat my words. What I'm saying, you write equal to 0 here, that's 0 coming, or you write it on the other side, no effect will come. Not a single sign will change. Algebraic rule. Now a simple technique, I have it. 4x to power 2, 1 will go on the other side, become plus. 4 will divide, become this. Now take the root of the both sides. Root of the both sides, I get x is equal to, to write only 1 by 2. Wrong. Must write plus and minus. So I hope so you got that. That is why you see there are two empty spaces. And some student giving only one answer. I hope so you got a point to very clear what I'm saying here. And now I'm going to discuss this point. This is a very important point. See, which I'm discussing now with you. C part. Question is, first of all, I will explain the logic. You know, students, uh, whenever we take an inverse of p, is saying it is equal to that. Like he's saying there is one function not visible here, f of x, g of x, h of x, j of x. But p of x is not mentioned here. They're saying there is one function, its name is p of x. If you find inverse of p of x of that function will become this. I repeat, I repeat. And before I repeat, I take this function. If this is a function, if I find inverse of it, if I find inverse of it, I will get f inverse of x. All of you agree with me? Actually, from one function to shift from another function, we always find inverse. Okay, I hope so you got the idea. And reverse, let's imagine. Okay, first of all, I show you one example. I believe, inshallah, you will understand. If you understand that criteria, you will understand this criteria as well. Let's start. I'm going to find f inverse. Okay, let's start. F inverse, although it's not asking here, but I'm finding here. So all of you are familiar what is method to find inverse of any function, write function, remove function name, write y. Currently y subject, try to make x subject, so 1 will go there. 2 is multiplying, so 2 will divide there. Which means left go right, left go right side, right go left side. Switching, you all of you know, and while switching, no sign will change. Interchange, x become y and y become x. And this is called f inverse. And I believe all of you understood nothing hard here, but I'm going to teach something new. What is new? This f inverse of x, take inverse here again. I'm copying this function again here. Now look, I took inverse of this function and I got this function. Now I'm taking the whole function as it is, as this function, same. I'm going to find inverse of this function again. You're surprised, you'll inshallah, you will get back this one. But you don't believe me, let's see. As I kept this function name as y, I will keep this inverse function as a y. To divide, so to multiply. This one adding goes there, will subtract. Switch, this go left, this go right, no sign change. X is equal to 2y minus 1. Interchange, x becomes y and y becomes x. And this is called inverse of this. So become f of x. And see 2x minus 1 fully match. So what you learn a lesson from here? The lesson is, I'm writing finally lesson left-hand side. Let's say k function I have. If I find inverse of this, so I will get k inverse of x naturally. But if I find again inverse of k inverse, okay, like inverse and inverse. So what will happen? K inverse will convert to back to k function. as I have taken function of f, I found f inverse, I got this answer. Now I taken this function and find inverse, and I got this function back. So it means when I find inverse of function, again inverse of function, inverse cancels automatically. I believe you got my point. Although technically I can't say minus into minus become plus one, but because you are lower level, so I'm just saying for short interval, yes, minus one and minus one become plus one. Although it's not like that. Technically, it means whenever you find inverse of we get this one. If you find again inverse of this function, I'll go back. Actually, this is in a backward process. I hope so. You got my point. So same approach. If you understood the whole story, so come on this question. Let's say I have a function p of x. I found f inverse of this function. I got p inverse of x. And if I find inverse of p of x again, inverse one time, I will get this form. Again, inverse second time, I will get back here. I think all of you agree with me this point planning. Now, interesting part is what? He's saying that p inverse of x is same function of f. So it means the simple story. If I remove for a while p inverse in this above expression, so p of x is, if I find inverse, I will get p inverse, but he said no, p inverse and fx same. So I say, okay, I follow you. So I replace by f inverse by f of x, then what? And now if I want to go, if I will go back to f inverse here, if I mean inverse I find again, if I find inverse of this function again, I will get what? P of x, and this is my task. So Alhamdulillah, it means what is story we have? How to find P of x, how to find P of x, students. So find inverse of f of x, you will get P of x. So I believe you got a point. This is my task. So let's start. Simply how to convince examiner students, you will just write a wording here. P inverse of x is equals to uh, although you can no right to write any reason, but you just mentioned that this way. If you find inverse, you get a p of x. Sorry, wait a minute. So when you have a p of x, you find inverse of x, you get you get a p inverse of x. And as he mentioned here, but as given that p inverse of x is equal to f of x. So I can say that, so p of x, if you find inverse, this will give you f of x. So if I want to go back, so I will find inverse once again. So it means f inverse of x is actually equals to p of x. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The rule is very clear now. Now I'm finding f inverse of x, and that is, it's very long story I explained, but I hope so you got logic. So f of x equals to f of x equal to 2x minus 1. First function will remove and write y. Then y, this one will go there. Now I'm finding properly working to show, to convince the examiner, switches the side, interchange, x become y and y become x, and this is my f inverse of x. And all of you familiar, x inverse of x means, so p of x is same. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I hope so this part is very, very clear. Part D is missing here, and that's part D is very interesting, easy, nothing hard. Some students think, let me bring a clarity here. H j of x, this something different, this something different. Some students think they are same. Wrong, wrong. This means put J function in H, whereas this is nothing in the middle of them. There's one dot, or you can say multiply. So actually, the functions are multiplying each other. We are not putting one function to another function. If we given this form, I will follow function in function. But here, function times to other functions. So let's start h of x and g of x. So these functions will multiply. So first of all, I'm writing question here. H of x times to j of x equal to 1 over root of 2. Now I'm taking functions from here, h of x 4 to power x and 2 to power x. So here I'm writing 4 to power x dot. Dot for your knowledge is not a decimal. Dot means product. Make sure. Multiply sign and dot same meanings. Make sure. What is a root value, students? All of you know have. And when you bring it up, students, what happens? It gets negative half. Whenever value go ups and down, power sign changes. What is this 2 to power x? Keep as it is. What is 4? All of you familiar? 4 is 2 to power 2. So I'm replacing here 2 to power 2, but on a whole, I have x. You can see x. And basic one power inside, one power outside. They multiply always. I get 2x times to 2 to power x are equal to 2 to power half. Now, some students try to cancel this way, which is total wrong. They cancel like that. Total wrong. Our same basis multiplying power will add. So 2 into 2, some students think 2 into 2, 4. Wrong. I will make a 1 base and power will add. So basically, same basis, power add always. And I get 2 to power 3x and equal to 2 to power half. Now you say one statement. What is that? Same basis. When same basis come, now you can cancel these two, and Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I can say that 3x equal to 1 over 2. I took the powers only, and this 3 is multiplying, will come with a level of 2 like this. So it becomes 1 over 6, which is our final answer. And I believe, let me recheck. Yes, 3 2s are 6, correct. And I believe the concept is very, very clear of the whole question.